house. What up, Harris from New Jersey? Shit, I grew up with no mom. Bitch ain't dead, but she dead to me. I hear that, homie.
That's what I was saying. Damn. So
SG, what's good, SG? First comment I seen from you.
what up with you? Plenty of men have grown up with weak fathers that get pushed around by their women. I agree with that too.
Yeah.
In fact, I would go as far as saying when you got a weak father in your household, it's actually worse than having no father at all.
Interesting.
hmm
Yeah.
And the reason why I'll say that is because when there's a weak father in the household that's allowing, let's say his woman is running over him and he's just not pretty much doing what he's supposed to do as a man. It's if they have a daughter or a son, they might look at that and think that's how it's supposed to be. And now you're raising your kids to be the same way, and now you fucking up a whole generation because you can say, well, I had to fight. This is how my dad told me. My dad used to do this. My dad, it's not a good thing, but it's almost validating the bullshit that took place. But that is usually a result of those men being raised by overbearing and or single. I'm not sure what he was referring to with that. What's up, DeMarcus?
DV.
Solo, do you agree with that?
With what?
That having a weak father is worse than being raised by a single mother?
Not if that's this example that you just gave us. If that's the case, then no, I don't agree.
Care to elaborate?
I mean, if that's the only thing wrong with your dad is that he let your mom run over him, to me, that isn't a reason. That is, you don't equate that with not having a dad. If that's all that's wrong with him is that mom is sort of leading the relationship and telling him what to do versus not having a dad. I don't think that compares. Now, if he at home beating the hell out of y'all, then I think that gives rise to not having him around may be better. Or if he's over there, committing any type of violence against the mom and the kids, he may be better than not being in the household. So I do agree with that, but as far as that example, I don't think that's a reason why he wouldn't be in the household.
Okay, well, let me dig a little bit further. So basically, what I'm saying is that honestly, I think it's my opinion. I think it's even worse, possibly for women, because since she one day has to find herself, a man. If she actually runs into a strong man, he's not going to let her do her. But she's going to think it's okay because she saw her mother do that to her and her father was letting her. And what I'm saying, like as far as talking any kind of ways to him, having him do stuff that typically, a man of substance wouldn't do and all of that. And when she comes trying to do the same thing to him, like I said, a guy that's actually, that's a strong man, he's gonna be like, hell no, that's some bullshit. I'm not doing it. And she may be thinking in her head, well, my dad used to do it for mine.
But that's not worth her not having a father growing up. If she's seen her mama curse her dad out every day, that's not comparable with her growing up without having a dad
It's
and
not.
not having a dad in the household. Like, I think that anybody would take that over not having a dad. They would say, I would rather see my mom curse my dad out every damn day versus not having a dad at all. Even if she picked up bad habits, the worst feeling is a girl growing up without a dad, not knowing a dad, not knowing how to. I mean, just not having a dad is like one of the worst things for women. So unless, like I said, unless he's there beating the hell out of her, beating the hell out of the kids, beating the hell out of mom, as long as he's treating them right, and he should be there. If the woman is running over him, is that worse than not having a dad?
I'd say it is because I just think it's putting her in a position to think that this is how it should be ran. Honestly, I'll go as far as saying a good majority of our race kind of dealt with that. That's just my opinion. I know some agree with it, some don't. But us as blacks in America, since we went through this matriarchy situation where women was kind of running stuff. Like I said, that's the reason why we have such a big challenge today. This is just my opinion because they're so used to the women doing certain stuff and it being okay. And now the men now are like, hell no, that shit ain't okay. Because that's how the other men in the other ignorant groups shit get ran too. Now we're starting to get on board with it as well. It's a problem.
I just, like I said, I think that as a girl growing up without a dad, if that is what is going on, your mom is cursing him, excuse me, him out, you can either grow up to disdain that behavior or grow up thinking that behavior is acceptable. You're the individual person. You're going to decide whether or not that's acceptable or whether or not it is acceptable. Just like women, they grew up with single parents and they're saying that's not acceptable for me. That's not acceptable for me to be a single parent. Just like we're meeting these men who are half stepping and we're saying that's not acceptable for me. So it just depends on the person, what they grow up, and again, their values and their morals, what they think is acceptable versus what they think is unacceptable.
Actually, what was just said, bringing in this next topic in perfect. Actually, I think it's a perfect time to bring in this next one because even though I wasn't necessarily just talking about them cursing them out and stuff like that, that's not really what I was talking about solely. But at the same time, them talking crazy to their husbands all the time is very detrimental, and I don't think women understand how bad it is when you do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one, which is we're going to talk about the power of the tongue. So basically here, this is actually biblical as well, where they talk about how powerful it is when you're saying certain things to people. Because keep in mind, it all depends on what it is you believe in, how you believe in it. But if you're Christian or, spiritually, you follow the Bible of any kind of degree, not just with the Bible, actually, but it talks about what did it say at the beginning of Genesis? I spoke and said what? Let there be light, right? And he spoke a lot of this stuff into existence. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us are very familiar with how they say, you spoke this into existence, or don't be saying that because you know how things could get spoken into existence. Like they tell you not to be negative and stuff like that. Like say if you are let's say you into sports and your star player is constantly saying, man, bro, we suck. We can't beat them. Your coach gonna chew you out and be like, that's not the type of energy I need from my star player, because it's your job to lead the troops so that we can believe we can beat them, because your thoughts are very powerful and your words are as well. So with that being said, I got another video that I want to share, and I think this one is a really good one because I just wanted to get in our heads of how powerful our words really are. Like it even goes down to a science of how powerful words really are.